Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakakadash, the one is the apostles and elders who got most on the rule well, and Shalom to the brothers in wax in truth. Got this article on Politico just talking about the situation with Trump, and it's kind of more generally touching on the tariffs he put on China, Canada, and Mexico. And then, like, I think all three of them have responded in kind with tariffs. So that's gonna get peak. But this is about the EU as well, and the EU are more, the watching or putting, prophecy to it because why, they're a key part of what those who are gonna hate the whore and burn her with fire. Because so on Politico, it says what Brussels vows firm response to threaten Trump tariffs as EU braces for trade war. European Commission says the bloc regrets new US tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. So it says the EU is warning US President Donald Trump the bloc will retaliate if he imposes tariffs on EU goods. The European Commission, the EU's executive body, said it regrets Trump's decision to impose blanket tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China on Saturday. The US president has vowed to take a similar measure against the EU, and he probably will, because he's been letting it rip from the second he got in office. Our trade and investment relationship with the US is the biggest in the world. There's a lot at stake, a commission spokesperson said on Sunday. Tariffs create unnecessary economic disruption and drive inflation. They are hurtful to all sides. Nevertheless, the spokesperson said the EU would respond firmly to any trading partner that unfairly or arbitrarily imposes tariffs on EU goods. France's industry minister Marc Ferracci went further, demanding a bite response from Brussels, which manages trade relations on behalf of the EU's 27 member countries. Trade negotiators with Donald Trump must assume a form of power dynamic, Ferracci told France Info on Sunday. Given Trump's threats to impose tariffs against the EU, it's obvious that we must react, Ferracci said. Although he added that we are waiting for the American administration decisions on what will concern Europe. Ferracci added that the countermeasures to be effective, that for so, select, that for the countermeasures to be effective, the response must focus on products that are important to the US and that it must be biting, meaning it should have an impact on the American economy to have a credible threat in negotiations. He called on Brussels to not be naive and draw up a Buy-European Act. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz stressed the benefits of open trade, but at the same time hinted that the EU has the ability to respond to any potential moves. So yes, it's more or less, really they're moving with the assumption it's going to go through, and that's been the relationship with Trump as well with the EU, because it's similar with NATO. We're saying, okay, America could just pull out of NATO and you guys deal with Russia, or you have to up your funding to NATO, or we're done. And I believe they upped the funding last time. A lot of the nations upped their funding, but then with the trade tariffs, this is something you're gonna see, pop off, swell up, because why? It's part of that pride, that um showcasing, just kind of bullying his neighbors of America, which you're really seeing, and then it applies even to the EU as well. But the main the main reason I was looking at is because what Revelation 17:16, And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which shall hate these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So yeah, you're gonna have that flip from these different nations amongst Europe being underneath America to a certain point. But then what? It'll get to the point where they will hate the whore and burn her with fire. They're gonna join in with the chariots, and the missiles being shot from Russia in bringing about an end of America. And as such, that means what? The relationship's gonna break down. It's gonna hit the point where it's gonna be what they call it in divorce, irreconcilable differences. That's really what you're gonna have. And then you see Trump's really the shining example you can go to of where you have that big divide between these different nations that were formed, been allies of the US, where now they have huge issue with it. Europe especially, and even, Mexico, Canada. Trump's talking about grabbing up Greenland, talking about grabbing up Canada, and the thing with it is he's is of the mind to actually action upon these things rather than to just talk about. And that's why it's people really got a mindset like, yo, this thing cannot go on, and you're seeing it be fulfilled really in the moment. But yeah, it's a quick one. Shalom, shalom.